Fighting games, not just my bedroom antics. For years, gamers young and old have dropped coin into arcade cabinets all over the globe, and there's nothing quite like meeting and beating a complete stranger, or even better, inviting your friends over and making them eat your joystick skills. But the tables are turned when it comes to fighting game bosses. What was once a pleasurable experience of beating your friends into being, well, not friends, bosses can be the cheapest and most rage-inducing enemies you'll come across in gaming, period. In fact, today's entries are so aggravating that I needed to draft in some help to get through this in one mental piece. So luckily, my sparring partner and What Culture's very own punching bag, Peter Austin, is here to lend a helping fist.
Hello, I'm Peter, and most of these bosses have made me angry cry at some point between age 5 and now. All of them. That's all.
Well said, Peter. Truly, you are this generation's Hemingway. And with this in mind, we're Jules and Peter for WhatCulture.com, and these are the 10 cheapest fighting game boss battles.
Number 10, and this is a spoiler alert for Tekken 7 Story Mode, which hasn't been out for long, so skip to the timestamp on screen if you don't want to hear about it. Alright, yeah? You gone yet? Okay. Number 10, Devil KAZUYA, Tekken 7. This poncy, purple piece of I debated having Jinpachi Mishima from Tekken 5 here instead, who is decidedly tricky, but once you've realised you can just sidestep his fireballs, you're halfway there at least. Devil KAZUYA, on the other hand, is given rage arts on a plate 3 times or more in that final fight, so if you're playing on normal or above and don't want to lose 50% of your health in a single sweep, you have to be constantly on the back foot for the entire battle, ready to block it. He'll pummel you with insane moves and juggles in amongst a host of invincibility frames, and worst of all, the nature of the story means you have to play as Heihachi, whose relatively short range might not be your cup of tea. Devil KAZUYA, f*** off, and get that eye looked at.
Number 9, God RUGAL, Capcom vs SNK2. Now, if we were judging fighters based on their intros alone, then God RUGAL would be much higher up. After all, he's depicted as defeating high-haired bad lad AKUMA in mere seconds. As he absorbs the legendary warrior's power, you know you're in for a tough fight. RUGAL is bad enough before this, but the added ability to teleport and breathe ethereal fire is intimidating to say the least. The speed in which God or Ultimate RUGAL can teleport and rack off attacks is gee-wettingly fierce, and his hits chop off more bits of you than Joe Hendry dressed as Edward Scissorhands. In fact, on the toughest difficulty, 2 heavy punches will lay you out flat, making God RUGAL a fighter of powerhouse proportions and feel monumentally cheap when he inevitably decks you out.
Number 8, KAHN, the Mortal Kombat series. Ugh, can you not do that and get changed? You look ridiculous. KAHN, sadomasochist and Cubone cosplayer, has consistently been a force of nature and then some. In MK2, he could have you down and out in about 3 moves, and he'll have his guard up almost constantly, unless he's just openly taunting you, "Feel the wrath of KAHN," safe in the knowledge that you're going to be nothing more than marinara sauce and a pair of shoes in about 4 seconds' time. His return in MK3 was similarly solid, making you feel like a bubble football player up against Vinnie Jones's Juggernaut, and God, that unblockable hammer throw in Mortal Kombat 9. KAHN, more like. No, I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean it!
Number 7, GILL, Street Fighter 3 New Generation. First off, I goddamn hate GILL. Not only for his ridiculous offensive and defensive skills, but because of the way he looks. I hate this two-tone tit-headed look and his big bird hair. That said, it's hard for me to criticise anyone who's A, lays me out quicker than Superman setting the dinner table, and B, has hair, as I feel I'm not able to judge that properly given my conditions of the chromiest of domes. And as Peter has just mentioned, C also has my surname. GILL is a serious piece of gaming shittery with an all-out attack focus from the moment the fight starts. Able to spam both fire and ice, plus not having to charge his specials makes for an incredibly difficult battle. He also does a fair amount of damage even when blocking, meaning that players who try to wait out the storm are likely to get wrecked. Add to this a special move that if it connects pretty much is an insta-kill, and you know you're looking at a pad breaker.
Number 6, Night Terror, SOULCALIBUR 3. Night Terror is horrendous. There's not a great deal else to say. Sure, the SOULCALIBUR series has arguably had tougher fights in its long history, but few are as goddamn cheap as Night Terror. For starters, any hope of getting an easy win on him with a ring out is instantly quashed by his ability to just fly back up into the ring. Great. On top of that, he blocks most of your close-up attacks and hits you from miles away with his own infuriatingly long-range ones. And as soon as you hit, he'll chain together a whole series of moves that you've got next to no hope of breaking out of. He pretty much ticks every cheapness box there is, and I hate him, and I hate his mother, and I hate Jules for bringing me onto this list. There, I said it.
Ah, wow. Thanks, Peter. Number 5, AKUMA, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I know earlier that I mentioned that RUGAL owned AKUMA. Let's just say fairly hard. But the redhead who gets you dead must have been having an off day, as in Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which is the first glimpse gamers got of this beast, he is an absolute unit. What makes this fight feel so cheap is the sheer level of assault that AKUMA can put out. He's the only character who can fire off Hadoukens in the air, and this bastard chucks out 2 at once. Plus, as with all cheap bosses, he can teleport right through your attacks or even behind you. If about 3 good hits connect, you can count yourself done for, plus his fiery Hadouken will wreck you if you fail to block it. Most fights with AKUMA end up with you backed up into the corner, desperately dodging projectiles from high and low. It would feel so much less cheap if you could actually get to him, but good luck to those trying to show him a how you doing through his Hadoukens.
Number 4, AZAZEL, Tekken 6. Yeah, I might have been debating over Jinpachi and Devil for entry number 10, but the reason AZAZEL never even entered the equation is because he shot into the top 5 as soon as we even decided to do this list. Look how ridiculous he is. There are so many questions to answer. What is going on? How do I defeat him? Is he the actual product of a wild love affair between a magical Egyptian pharaoh and a sexually receptive alligator with laser for skin?
What a metaphor, that's brilliant.
All we do know is he blocks almost everything while he's standing, and so you've got little choice but to juggle him in the air, assuming he doesn't kill you with magic rocks and flippy shit within 10 seconds. AZAZEL is by far the cheapest f***ing asshole in the entire franchise and made an already abysmal arcade mode in Tekken 6 100 times worse. Screw this guy.
Number 3, PARACE, ARCANA Hearts 3. Okay, so now we're getting into the piss-taking territory, as this busty elf will likely tear up your ass more than a paper donkey shredder. PARACE, or however you pronounce this, is an education in pain. Whilst looking like a collective Tumblr OC wet dream, she is the stuff of nightmares, obliterating unwary players with lightning-fast attacks, screen-filling specials, and the type of chest meat that puts Lara Croft to shame. The whole fight is made even worse when you realise that she starts at half health as a means of teasing the player with the promise of victory. Plus, she laughs and giggles her way through the events, making the maulings you receive feel even more humiliating. I guess the only consolation is that her moveset is utterly beautiful, so at least it looks like a treat when you're sucking on defeat.
Number 2, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Okay, firstly, yes, this guy definitely qualifies for this list. Punch-Out is a fighting game, and the boss is Mike Tyson. And secondly, f*** Mike Tyson. While not categorically one of the hardest bosses in gaming history, Tyson is without doubt one of the most infamous, there's no question about that. And the main reason he makes it to this list is partly down to the technology of the time. With modern fighter titles, a game's movement mechanics, command combos, power attacks, rage abilities, and so on tend to provide enough variation for you at least to defeat any cheap boss sooner or later. It's just a case of switching up your tactics until something sticks. With the final fight of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, however, you're pretty much at the mercy of a series of preset algorithms that children of 1987 had almost no hope of learning. Sure, now the internet can tell you exactly what Mike is going to do, even instructing you to dodge left or right depending on which eye he winks. Yes, that's genuinely an integral part of the strategy, but in the days before gaming walkthrough pages and YouTube tutorials, working any of this out was a Herculean feat, and this guy felt as close to literally impossible as you could get. The only reason he persevered is because your best friend's older sister's boyfriend had allegedly beaten him once, so it must be doable, right? Wrong.
And number 1, General KAISER KNUCKLE. Oh my this guy! The general from the oft-overlooked KAISER KNUCKLE is a pure monster. Whilst many other bosses on this list have been frustrating to the point of controller breaking, this fight will make you want to find the developers responsible for creating this and burn them alive. The General is unbelievably hard, able to spam ghost projectiles, teleport, and fill the screen with lightning when he gets up from a knockdown. Even his regular moves are ridiculous, with his low kick slide hitting you between 3 to 5 times in some cases. As you can expect, his power is off the charts, and fights with him feel like trying to get me to stop talking about my dick. It's literally impossible.
Literally impossible.
There are only a handful of recorded wins against this bastard, and each of them involves exploiting some glitch in the AI, which is probably the worst thing about this, that even if you happen to best him, it's a hollow victory that will leave you cursing his name. F you, General!
Fight!
And that's our list.
Did we
you
miss
miss
any
any
out?
out?
Let
Let
us
us know in the comments section below. And why not swing to whatculture.com for more news and articles like this every goddamn day. As always, I've been Peter.
From whatculture.com.
And I've been Jules. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you
next
soon.
time.
Next soon.
Wow.
That's glorious ending.
More collab lists, right? Let us know down below.